Alrighty lads, you with Budget Monk. What's up guys? It's 15:13. Look at this game, lads. Look at that Castile. Gaze upon glory and despair. This is the greatest game. I was really worried at the beginning of the session about actually using Gascony as a catalyst to wreck France via reconquest, aka in a manner in which we would not have the entirety of Europe coalition us. But not only have we done that, we've won. We've just come off our second victory over France, both of which he actually tapped into his French morale. But as a sort of miracle here, as he was getting away from us, Savoy actually ended up getting the Burgundian inheritance. That was extremely disappointing, I must admit, because I'm not too fussed about Austria getting it in the grand scheme of things because we're able to PU that land. And also the advantage, although I wouldn't inherit the land, is that Austria would be promised to call to arms against France by promising him land, but also he would be more powerful. Either way, it did not go to neither myself nor Austria, and since then, due to the Shadow Kingdom event, this land has all been removed from the Holy Roman Empire. So the Holy Roman Empire was doing extremely well. It actually passed 2 reforms, and you can see here a decent amount of imperial authority, but the Protestant Reformation has kicked into full force here with all 3 centers of Protestantism in northern Germany. So my prediction is that the Danish overlord here, who has integrated Norway, will succumb to Protestantism. I mean, just so much of his main land will be converted. Otherwise, it looks like it's very central right now, very northern and central, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, including France themselves. If we continue to diminish France, he may succumb to, who knows, the reform centers. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, that would allow us to Deus Voltum because we have religious ideas. Speaking of ideas, we've done religious and influence, and we've grabbed that policy here. So we have 45% reduced culture conversion cost, and we actually also have a few areas where separatism has come up, and we've integrated nations, so that's really, really cool. We're also going around and placing the Dominicans in areas here as we are playing, not catch up, but the opposite. What would you say? We're allowing our Diplo to fall further and further behind. Now, look at that game, boys. We fed land to Aragon, which I'm really looking forward to actually forming Spain this time around. You do require 100 prestige, not prestige, but legitimacy to form Spain. So the only requirement we have right now is actually this tech 10, and we can form Spain. Like I said, I might try to have it so that our heir gets that bonus, but I'm not going to procrastinate or worry too much about it in the grand scheme of things. You can see here, not only have we wrecked France, guys, but we've wrecked the frickin' Ottomans as well. And it was amazing. Look at that diplomacy with a big Austria. And that is a big Austria with the big Hungarian PU. We promised him land and called him in against the Ottomans. So you wouldn't believe it, guys. I was really grim. We had a really hard fought war against the Papal State, who was allied to a few Italians. Really rough. Struggled. Heavy casualties here, and I took these 2 provinces, gave them to Aragon, and I was pretty depressed about it, to be honest. Way in the negative, 0 manpower, our units were damaged, and I was looking at France like there's no way we're going to break them. Well, lo and behold, this dude actually was allied to the Knights, and the Ottomans downed the Knights. France at the time was allied to Genoa and Venice. Pretty intimidating stuff, guys, when you're in rough shape on very hard difficulty. However, so were the Knights. I don't know if they were in the Genoan Trade League or what, but he was guaranteed by Venice, as you would expect, and Genoa, Venice, and France all went into a war over Rhodes with the Ottomans. Not only did we manage to attack France, calling in Austria for favors, even though he was scary and powerful, he was way out here. The Austrians distracted him, and we just backdoored him, boys. We just carpet sieged his whole land, got that reconquest. Not only that, but we were actually so decisive against the French that we then jumped in against the Ottoman Empire and did the same thing. I used my claims off of claims here. You can see in the previous age, I claimed through Urbino, actually, to here, 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 and so on. Using these claims that we actually got from the mission. I made the age bonus and actually claimed all the way out to Constantinople. Then what we opted to do, because unfortunately the Byzantium core had just disappeared, I couldn't core the stuff, guys, believe it or not, at the time. This was prior to taking this part of Tunis. I did not have the coring range. You can see that we're delaying in our Diplotech, and I did not have the range, so we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but at the same time, the core in Constantinople of Byzantium was going away for the kind of a release. My plan was to take one low development province and release him with Byzantium from Constantinople after taking these two provinces. However, like I said, it was going away. I didn't have the range, so we were thinking about what we could best do. I went ahead and gave this to Naples, who we're now integrating. And upon integrating Naples, I'm really looking forward to that because it's going to give us influence in Genoa, obviously. And we're also going to form Spain soon. So with all of this, we're going to have a really sick control. And my priority is going to be the Genoan region, all of this Italian stuff, which is now outside of the HRE. Hopefully we can break into there. But this is going to be released as Byzantium. So we've done our first war against the Ottomans successfully by calling in the PLC, and Austrians immediately after we used our favors, we promised him land here, emboldening Austria and therefore increasing the amount that we're going to PU at a later date all in one foul swoop. But the plan, of course, once we integrate Naples, is to release Byzantium at our leisure. And keep in mind, guys, we have gone, not only have we gone pretty aggressive in Europe, with the amount of land that we've taken straight up from the Papal State here, straight up from France here, and with the reconquest of Gascony, but we've gone pretty aggressive in North Africa as well. These nations are kind of somewhat far away, obviously, but then with this as well, yeah, aggressive expansion is an issue, so I will opt to actually reconquest. However, I was depressed about by losing the capital of Constantinople until it dawned on me that Aragon can core it. So we gave the occupation to him, and what a genius idea is that. Naturally, as Castile, you can automatically inherit Aragon for free, and typically, you're going to want to give him high development provinces. What better province to give him than Constantinople? We're going to inherit that for free upon forming Spain. So how many more provinces can we give him, by the way? You need to give him less than 37. He's at 32, which means we can give him, what, 5 more? No, 4 more, because we want him to be at 36. So we got still some room to feed him a little bit. 4 more provinces, but let's make sure not to go over that limit there. Really hyped. Look at that, boys. So France is on the way out, except he PU'd England, guys. Can you believe it? We were so stoked about France being on the way out. He's on very hard difficulty, guys. A nation like this can be pretty frightening. All he needs to do is make some good diplomacy, and that's what he's done here. So it seems as though the British... No, they're loyal. Wow. They were disloyal at some stage, but I guess he's improving relations. There you go, guys. So France is still a bit of a threat here. I bet he's a great power. Yeah, he's the 3rd great power of the world, guys. Like, despite losing half his bloody country. So he PU'd England. That's problematic, because, of course, I plan to PU England with the Spanish mission tree, and we can't do that if he's already under a personal union. The way that it went down is it was actually Holland that inherited England, and France contested the claim, ran over here, shreked them, and took the personal union. So that's a bit of an issue, but in my opinion, we'll still be okay. We'll be okay. We've done enough damage to him that we will continue to do damage with him, and we've set it up with the mighty Burgundian reconquest right there. Look at that, baby. That's sick, boys. So not only can we reconquest into France itself, but also Savoy, who gained the inheritance. And Savoy, unfortunately, he does have strong diplomacy, so we'll try to sort that out. It's going to come down to like attacking Lucca or something, and then separate piecing Savoy and breaking his diplomacy with our ally, the Emperor. But he is not inside the Holy Roman Empire, which means, yeah, somewhat realistic that we can gobble up all of this as well. And that's going to be my main priority on the European sphere and side of things, because low AE. We want to manage our aggressive expansion out here. Otherwise, on the sort of Eastern European, towards the Middle East hemisphere, we're going to go for the reconquest of Byzantium. and otherwise I'm actually using my admin points to crush the North Africans. You can see my objective completed here, guys. We do not even have a merchant inside Safi, and 100% of the wealth is running through just like I had planned. After eliminating, we only just eliminated the last North African nation down here in southern Morocco. We were hoping to go straight into Tunis, but he finally got good diplomacy here with the Ottomans. So most likely, as our truce just came up, it's going to be we'll integrate Naples. We might do the reconquest here, separate piece Tunis though, focus him out, break his diplomacy, and then we'll go in for the big cleave of the land. We'll go in for the coastline, and who knows, we might start going into the Mamluks if we deem it possible. Mamluks clearly not having the worst game of all time, and typically, I mean, the intention was to crush them and kind of block out the Ottomans when the Ottomans were crushing the Mamluks. But if the Ottomans continue to decline like this, who knows? Mamluks might become a bit of a problem here. He is the fifth great power of the world, and again, very hard difficulty, so pretty frightening stuff. But Portugal, our personal union of Portugal, is doing a good job. We're kind of leeching information from him. I have not gotten any colonial ideas, but we have discovered some stuff. Kind of inheriting knowledge from Portugal, just how we had planned. Speaking of which, he just got colonialism, which is going to spread to us secondarily, so that's nice. I really didn't feel like I could work discovering the New World into this run without more penalty than it would give us advantage. But what I'm working on right now, after completing our first colony here, is dropping a second colony right here, and that's going to allow us to days vault this fool, boys. So straight into North Africa, through and into West Africa. We're just cleaving out land. This is the plan, this is the tactic. Obviously, it's challenging, this game, on very hard difficulty, but is it challenging against people that you out-tech like crazy? Perhaps not. Really looking forward to this, guys. Really looking forward to getting those trading companies up through Conquest. So far, so good. And yeah, soon we will integrate Portugal as well. When I form Spain, so it's 6 years before I can begin integrating Portugal. So we've got plenty to do with our Diplo points in the meantime, while we try to explode and expand and create areas, more and more areas where we can convert where the separatism has gone. That's what's important to me. But obviously, whether we collect in Seville or not, we want that wealth that Portugal has and everything to be able to trickle through towards Genoa and dominate the economy. We currently have one loan, unfortunately, and also, yes, be able to freely, easily gain global trade and so on. Technically, in the same fashion, if we integrate Portugal, then there's nobody in Seville, so we also would not even need a merchant here. We would just need Genoa, and we could use our we only have two meager merchants right now, but we could have them in Alexandria and Ragusa, for example. And then if we simply dominate this entire area, which we got a pretty good start of actually realistically achieving, we could have our light ships, protecting trade in Alexandria, something like that. And I'll tell you what, we could potentially, I could see ourselves for one more war against Tunis, potentially expanding into Alexandria as well and really capitalizing on this wealth. So a lot of, economic boons in the future. Speaking of which, check out our gold income here, boys, at 8 ducats. Pretty nice stuff. We did take a second gold province here. We've currently has 4 development. So we got 2 gold provinces, 1 on 9, 1 on 4. Feeling good about that. And look at that game, boys. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. Really enjoying myself. This, in my opinion, is going to be the moment in which our next war, the reconquest of Byzantium, is going to be the moment in which the Ottomans have to kind of recover. He's gone quantity, guys. So he, they've got those Anatolian ideas. He's absolutely formidable. He is the Ottomans. He's lucky nation. He could have a sick general, whatever. I just don't think we're completely out of the woods. It was difficult to hurt him without an effective CB initially. And as you can see, he lost his whopping 40 development of his capital, 8 development here, and 2 provinces to Austria. But in the grand scheme of things, we really didn't do that much. So it's going to come down to the next war, in my opinion, how smooth it goes. And hopefully it goes well. I'm optimistic, and I'm optimistic about this game in general, guys. Everything's going according to plan. I'm Unfortunately, I mean, this needs to be resolved. I hope it will be. And we didn't get the Burgundian inheritance. Neither did I get it or Austria. So that's pretty grotesque. But in other ways, this game has been good. If we go ahead and take a look at our current ruler, he's got 262 above average stats. But yeah, I guess appropriate while we do a lot of Diplo annexation, Diplo plays in the beginning of the game. We do want a strong diplomatic game. But our heir is 354, so again, good stats. He is a Habsburg. I guess there's no harm in being a Habsburg, but it's actually not very relevant because we can PU Austria through missions. However, you know, Austria does have a fairly decent likelihood of spreading his dynasty, I would say. So again, pretty decent to become a Habsburg overall. And we have become the world's greatest power since quite some time. So definitely feels good, man. Really enjoying it. And come say hi, guys. Come watch the stream if you're keen. But either way, thank you for watching this video. Thanks for watching the update. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.